It's Madden NFL 23 on EA Sports. And if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Cleveland Browns and the Denver Broncos. All that and more coming up next on EA Sports.
We find ourselves at the foot of the Rockies, Denver, Colorado, for this edition of the NFL on EA Sports. Today, we're set for a good AFC matchup between the Cleveland Browns and the Denver Broncos. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis on hand, and this is a game where the defenses, they need to be on their toes because you got quarterbacks here, yes, that can throw the football, but they can also run it very well too.
Mobile quarterbacks. Remember, for the longest time, they used to tell the quarterbacks, stay in the pocket. We don't want you outside of it at all. Nowadays, that mobility, truly an asset, and people are game planning for it. As a scout told me recently, we are actually working with what the colleges are giving us nowadays.
And off we go from Denver. And the opening kickoff will not be returned, as that will be a touchback. So here come the Browns for their first drive on offense. Leading the charge will be their quarterback, always fun to watch, Deshaun Watson.
And he's exactly the man you want in control of your offense. Excellent arm, good zip on the ball, not afraid to use his legs when he needs to. And what he's excelled at doing is making plays when the first read isn't available or when the pressure's about to get to him.
They'll start on the ground here on first down. And he fights forward for a modest 2-yard gain, second down.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Here's Watson. Completes it right side to Cooper. Call it a gain of 6 on the play. And now that sets up 3rd and 2. I think defensively you're okay with that. And you're in the first quarter. He's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on. And I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series, they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
He's a talented runner, and that means he's always looking for bigger and bigger gains when he takes off. Certainly found some bonus yards there beyond the first down marker, and this early drive will continue with that extra jolt from his legs.
First carry for Nick Chubb, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. Watson now to throw. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. They get to him for a loss of 4, and it brings up 3rd down on the sack.
He's certainly one of those quarterbacks that can burn you with his mobility, but that time able to hem him in and get him to the ground.
Perfect descriptor right there about how they kept him in the pocket. Excellent job of containment, but they were still able to continue to bring such strong pressure without letting him escape. But how about those guys in the secondary as well? Kept the coverage tight, plastered to the receivers, and left no real options for him to throw it downfield.
Following that sack, Watson and the Browns backed up for a 3rd and long.
They'll drop to throw. And this one is incomplete.
They are such a talented team at defending the perimeter and taking away throws to the outside. Great confidence, great skill.
On 4th down, on is Corey Bojorquez to punt. He'll send this one into the mile-high air, and it's a good one. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. They'll be led out by the man who proclaims to be from a whole pack of Badgers. Came into the league back in 2012, Russell Wilson.
And similar to his nickname, Russell Wilson has a dangerous mix of skills, the ability to throw from the pocket and extend plays and throw on the run. Not to mention an absolute winner. Usually has his team in the playoffs competing for Super Bowl opportunities.
Let's go do this thing, baby.
So 1st and 10 here for Wilson and the Broncos.
At the 20. To throw is Wilson.
On the throw, led him too much that time. It's incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Again from the 20 after the incompletion. Here's 2nd and 10. Out of the gun. Here's Wilson. He'll let this go deep for Sutton. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
That's what you're going to need to do against those big receivers. You got to get in there and get physical with them. That time he got in close, got in tight, and knocked the ball away.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Here's Wilson to throw.
Oh, he'll air this one deep for Judy.
And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
On 4th down, it's Riley Dixon on now to kick it away for Denver. Back deep, Jakeem Grant. This is taken at the 23. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. Second drive coming up here for Cleveland as they return to the field on offense. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
On 1st down, Watson. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
My first thought is surprise, because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now Watson. Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted.
Watson picked by his former teammate Kareem Jackson. And the Broncos are going to take over once again at their own 37-yard line.
Partner, I think this one went awry very simply because he overestimated his arm strength and his ability to fit it anywhere he wants to. A lot of quarterbacks do that and often pay the price.
So now the second drive offensively coming up for the Denver Broncos.
These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
Wilson's throw there complete to Hamler.
And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Just like that, a pickup of 20 on their first play from scrimmage.
Well, this is an awfully tough route to defend in man coverage because he lines up on the right and then runs a crossing route back to the other side of the field. So as a defender, you're not only trailing him the whole way, you're also looking out for your own guys to make sure you don't get yourself picked off. And then you can't catch up in time to prevent the completion.
Here comes Hamler on the jet sweep.
Oh, a nifty juke there.
Not much fun for a guy trying to tackle him.
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field of the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
And he'll be upended at the 33 following a gain of 3. And guess what? It brings up 3rd down. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25. The drive stays alive, a 3rd down gain of 8.
How best to describe that one? I'd say right down Broadway on that run.
A straight ahead running. I think that might be something we see a lot of between the tackles today.
Well, he's enjoying things so far here this afternoon. Sees a crease and bursts through it for a solid gain.
Counting down toward the midway point in quarter 1. Throwing now, Wilson on 1st down.
And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earned a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now a give up the middle to Williams. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. A Bronco 1st down there, 12 yards on the play. The first drive this unit had, they punted. This drive much more polished, just looking crisper, aren't they, moving the ball?
Maybe the first drive was a little bit of a wake-up call. Probably a little bit angry that they had to punt the ball away the first time they had it. Got motivated, got to the sideline, said, okay, let's not let that happen here as we take over again.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10.
Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. Throw left side complete. That's Sutton. He's taken down at the 7 after a gain of 7.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you're wanting to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
To throw again on 2nd down. Wilson. Touchdown, Broncos. Tim Patrick, a 7-yard touchdown grab.
And the Broncos take the early turnover and convert it into an opening touchdown. Well executed there offensively. Defense looked a little confused, but he found his receiver, and that one good for 6 points.
And the payoff we just saw there tells us how many times they ran this play in practice over the past few weeks, because they executed that flawlessly right here on game day when the situation arose.
Extra point right down the middle, and it's now a 7-0 game. So that drive in total 8 plays, and it culminates in a touchdown by the Broncos. The Broncos kickoff unit out there to kick this one away.
And here's Jakeem Grant from his end zone.
And deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. It's picked up by the Broncos. And he'll be down at the 6-yard line.
I'm starting to get the sense throughout the league that more of the special teams coordinators give their guys the green light to bring the ball out because everyone wants big plays to happen. I don't know if that philosophy will hold after that error there, turn it over that deep in their own territory.
Do guys go rogue there a lot based on feeling?
I think a lot of them just sense that they can make a play and make a huge one to help.
And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. And the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble.
The Browns drive about to get started.
Here comes another drive from this unit, and Charles, they're coming off a costly mistake on the last possession, an interception in a game that is very close right now.
Well, as we know, they all sting no matter what the situation, but in a one-possession game, that'll hurt a little bit more, but this is an excellent opportunity to make up for it on this drive. I just don't expect him to try and take huge gambles to make up that momentum in a hurry. He was certainly quick to atone for his early game interception. Instead of making another mistake forcing something, he reset himself and found a lane to pick up the first down.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Now a play fake, and it's Watson. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down.
And this is a quarterback who's already had success on the ground in this first half, but this time they're able to hem him in.
And it's always different when you rush a mobile quarterback as opposed to a guy you know will be right back in the pocket. In this case, you got to make sure the inside pressure and the outside pressure match, and maybe even a second wave to make sure if he squirts free, you've got someone to tackle him.
Second and 10.
Faking the give, now Watson. And pressure coming, and they got him once again.
Alex Singleton, he's the one that drops him this go-around, and that pass rush getting strong here, back-to-back sacks. So that time, Charles, quarterback helpless really in the pocket in the face of a pass rush like that. They were on him instantly.
Yeah, that's one where you turn to your lineman and say, guys, can I get a little help here? And you have to ask politely because, remember, they're blocking for you the entire game. But as a quarterback, you've also got to have the clock running in your head when you need to get rid of the football. But this time, he had no chance. They were on him instantly.
He's going to look deep for more. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
On 4th down on is Corey Bojorquez to punt. And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. Denver's offense ready to go again. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. Now Wilson. That's complete. It's Greg Dulcich. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on 1st quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Broncos 1st down.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now Wilson. This one complete to Jerry Jeudy. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48. So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 48-yard line. Wilson. Throw right side, complete to Williams. And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play. On 2nd down, Williams. And he gets it down to the 32. That one, a 1st down pickup of 8. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. 2nd quarter about to begin from Denver. It's the Broncos in possession of the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Now it's Wilson. A throw left side, hauled in by Hamler. And he'll be marked down right at the 20-yard line. Seems as if the passing attack's starting to heat up a little bit here in the 2nd quarter.
You can sense and you can see the momentum because now they're reading their patterns downfield, they're understanding the coverages, and they're finding the open holes in the defense.
From the red zone now, here's Wilson on first down.
And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
So from the 17, here's 2nd and 7.
Wilson.
He'll drop this down to Williams. And they've got this down to about the 12-yard line.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it could turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
Again, Wilson. And he's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a first down. They say he was out of bounds, so a big call there. That brings up 4th.
Like what I see so far out of this defense because they've been showing their best coverages on 3rd down. So far, only allowed 1 conversion on a handful of attempts. One area of their game plan that they've executed to perfection.
And his kick here is good. And that will extend their lead even further.
So that one on target, and it adds to this first half lead.
And maybe we're too early to worry too much about 1-score lead, 2-score lead, etc. But this is where you kind of start banking those points that come in helpful later on.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
Grant, he will not return it, and his guys will begin at the 25.
Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here.
Nothing for them yet from an offensive standpoint, down 10-zip as they come up 1st and 10.
They'll start this drive out on the ground.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Back to the ground. This time it's Chubb. And he'll be stopped up at the 26 after a gain of only a couple.
Now that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater. He just made a great play there.
And this offense on 3rd down today, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. A shotgun snap for Watson. And that is incomplete. The passing game not in sync here early. And now it's 4th down.
I know this offense was expecting to do big things, but it certainly hasn't turned out that way, at least not through the first 3 drives. They're definitely going to have to put their heads together and start concocting some offense that'll move the ball downfield.
Here's Corey Bojorquez to punt this thing away. This will be fielded at the 17. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the Broncos take over. 1st down and 10. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. And last time they were able to churn some clock. They got the field goal, added onto their lead, but that was a drive that was so long it should have ended in a touchdown. You know that's how they felt.
And we'll both be headed to the airport after the game, but we probably should go to the post-game press conference because someone's going to ask the head coach about this drive and he's going to profess that he was happy to get points,
but
and we know that's not true.
Yeah.
Okay, after this type of a drive, not getting a touchdown, a huge disappointment.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
His back has been a dependable safety valve all game, so he went back to him when his first read was covered. Just unable to connect, so the play results in no gain.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Up the middle, it's Williams. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
I thought he did a nice job there setting an edge and making sure nothing could get to the outside. But he decided that wasn't enough for him. Worked his way back inside and made the tackle on the ball carrier.
And for the Browns, a nickel set here on 3rd down. Now it's Wilson. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
Well, they came up with points in their first 2 possessions, but it looks like they'll come up empty here on their 3rd drive. The defense finally starting to get locked into them a little bit. Might have to go a little bit deeper into their playbook on their next possession.
4th down, so on is the punter, Riley Dixon. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And 3 and out on the last drive. No points on the scoreboard. A little soul-searching now?
I would say so, and they need to help out their defense a little bit. They've had to be on the field a lot more than normal, put them in some tough spots. But what's the old adage? When you get another chance, it gives you a better chance to do it right.
Watson and the Browns now with a 1st and 10.
At their own 23. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. That good for 22 and a 1st down.
This is a little bit like baseball here. Strong up the middle. Both sides want to be that. In this case, the offense ended up winning the ultimate battle.
And those big runs between the tackles, that's a little deflating for a defense, isn't it?
It really is, because that's where your strength's supposed to be. You're supposed to be in a spot where they can't make that yardage there. You're supposed to send them outside. Not in this case.
The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already. Back to throw, Watson. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. That one a broken play, but it ends up being a good play. The scramble goes for 20.
No shortage of impressive moments from him thus far. Now he's halfway to the century mark, and we're still in the first half. There's been no answer for his running ability so far by the defense. I can't wait to see what adjustments they'll have to make during the halftime break.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Watson.
This complete to David Bell. And he's going to get this down near the 25.
Well, it certainly doesn't matter if it's been through the air like on this play or on the ground. I don't know what's going on with this defense. In a sense, they've been AWOL on this drive so far. 3 plays, 3 first downs given up. They've got to find answers, and they've got to find them quick.
Watson on 1st down. Over the middle, Amari Cooper. It's complete.
And they're going to get this down inside the 15.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they've put into their passing game, because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line.
Up the middle they go. Felton. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves them with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down, that fits the bill.
2nd down and 3. Ball on the 7.
They'll keep it on the ground. Felton. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. 4 yards on the play. That's going to lead to 1st and goal.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game.
Felton is into the end zone for a Browns touchdown.
That almost looked too easy, and I think thanks goes to the offensive line for making it look easy.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one. I'm not sure how much everyone understands the preparations that go into a game for an offensive line, because there's a reason that running backs and quarterbacks give them big gifts at the end of a season after a big year. The consistency and the continuity it takes to know each other and execute their blocks is pretty impressive.
Now Cade York for the extra point.
And they're back within a field goal. It's 10-7 now. So that winds up a 7-play drive all told. And it ends with a 3-yard scoring run.
York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away. And Smith not going to bring it out, so it's a touchback.
And Denver getting set to take the field.
Obviously not the intended goal last drive. They had to punt the football, but still they've got the lead here, and now a chance to add on to that lead if they can get points on this drive. 1st and 10 upcoming. So 1st and 10 here for Wilson and the Broncos.
At their own 25-yard line. Throwing is Wilson.
Yeah, that one too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. They'll run out of the gun here. Williams. And they're able to get this one across the 35.
41 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point.
Good push up front and that run in between the tackles.
Let's play the leverage game here. Offensive line just got lower than the defensive front, and they were able to get their pads on them and move them backwards and create space for their running back to roam.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Here's Wilson.
And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much.
Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, what, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Wilson. He'll get this one to Patrick. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes You're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
The offense on third down, they've only converted once in 4 tries. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. Riley Dixon now to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback.
With the football going back over now to the Cleveland Browns.
And that last drive, it was all about the ground game, ground and pound.
And I don't care how we're playing the game these days, offensive linemen still want to fire out and smack the guy opposite them and move the football on the ground. They feel better about that. That's what they want to do. That's how they want to play, and that's how they got it done.
Yeah, they got it for a touchdown last drive. Let's see what happens here.
Watson and the Browns now with a 1st and 10.
At their own 20-yard line.
Watson's throw here into the hands of Moore.
And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6.
Get him going, baby. Stay loose. Stay loose. Don't give him enough. It's showtime, baby. Let's go, y'all. Let's do it.
From the 26, they'll line up on 2nd and 4. Now it's Watson. He's got a man complete. It's Amari Cooper. 1:57 to go in this first half on EA Sports. Coming up at halftime in a little less than 2 minutes, we'll send you to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman is standing by. He'll have highlights and analysis of this first half. They're going to be stopped up on this first down run. He might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
Watson trying to get his guys moving. On 2nd down, here's Watson. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
Well, this has certainly turned into a showcase game for what he can do on the ground because they're just continuing to give him chances to run it, and he's earning every additional carry by putting up positive yardage on each run.
First down now, but the clock continues to move.
Watson's throw complete there to Moore. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48.
Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Only needing 2 yards on 2nd down.
Now Watson. Got an open man. That's David Njoku, the tight end. Now another timeout called for by the offense as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. On 1st and 10, Watson.
Tries the right side, and he finds Bell. And he's going to be marked down just inside the 35.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
Watson looks to throw again.
That ball nearly intercepted. The rookie had his hands on it, but couldn't pull it in.
They're putting together a drive here in the final minutes of the half, but the coverage has been tight all game long, and they certainly want to keep them off the scoreboard here.
Play number 9 set to come here on the drive on 3rd and 2. Out of the gun, Watson. Open man here, Schwartz, complete.
And he is out of bounds inside the 30. That'll be enough to keep the drive moving forward. Another first down on the pickup of 5 yards.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
It sort of looks like they still have some fight in them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But if this defense gets 2 more stops, they can keep them out of that area.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29. To the air yet again, Watson. Quick slant, caught by Moore. The Browns will quickly use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10.
From the red zone now, Watson. And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland.
David Bell.
In the final seconds of the first half.
And the Browns have taken the lead here in the final stages of this first half.
CD for them, this has just been an offensive explosion here in the second quarter.
Yeah, held scoreless in the first quarter. Now they find the end zone again here in the second. Sometimes you just have to have some patience. A lot of people think it's always an adjustment. You have to change what you're doing. Sometimes you just have to do your game plan just a little bit better. And I think that's part of what we're seeing here.
Extra point by York is up and good.
And the lead is now 14-10. So that drive, 12 plays in length.
And David Bell closed things out with a touchdown catch. So just 8 ticks remaining here in the first half as they'll kick this one away. Out of the end zone comes Smith. And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there.
All that remains is to snap this once, and that'll do it for the first half of play. So we come upon halftime, and it's the visiting Browns with a lead. As now we send you out to Orlando and hook back up with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome in everyone to our downtown Orlando studios and this EA Sports Halftime Report. First things first, let's get a check on the next-gen stats from that first half for the Browns. And even though they've got a halftime lead, they're likely devising ways as we speak to try and get a little more production from their passing game. Meanwhile, for the Broncos, they too didn't throw the ball as well as they would have liked. And I think both teams would say there's room for improvement in the second half.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always. This one's still anyone's game as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. It'll be the Broncos getting the football first in this second half as they trail, and we are back underway. And you combine a big leg with a mile-high air, there's the outcome. This will sail out of the end zone for a touchback. And the Bronco offense ready to begin this third quarter of play. But, Charles, we saw a pretty entertaining first half, close ball game. Remember there toward the end of the second quarter, the opposition scored to take the lead. Now we'll see if these guys can get a score of their own to regain that lead.
Yeah, they want to have that type of a response, don't they? Because they want to find a way to take control of this ball game one more time. Gauntlet's been thrown down. They want to see if they're ready to answer it.
On first down, Wilson. And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. Myles Garrett just would not be denied. That's a loss of 7. Just not much a quarterback can do there, CD. The pressure was in his face almost instantaneously, led to a very quick sack.
Yeah, that's one where you turn to your lineman and say, guys, can I get a little help here? And you have to ask politely because, remember, they're blocking for you the entire game. But as a quarterback, you've also got to have the clock running in your head when you need to get rid of the football. But this time, he had no chance. They were on him instantly.
Sutton reeling it in on the left side. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a third down.
And that was yardage that they needed there after the sack on first down. They didn't get all of it back, but now they look at third down as a manageable situation, one that they have a much better chance of picking up.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Now it's Wilson finding the open man, and that's Tim Patrick. And they'll bring him down 1 yard shy after a pickup of 4.
I thought they might take a shot down the field, but instead they ran a little drag route there. I think they were hoping he could catch it and run away from the defender. But a really good job keeping the play in front of them, and they force a 4th down.
Here's Riley Dixon now. He's been terrific so far. A big kick, 50 yards that time with a return of 4. And out will come the offense as they take over. Here's the Browns now. They get set for their first possession of the third quarter. Watson and the Browns now with a 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he's got room. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. 55 rushing yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. And Chubb will try the middle here. And good running there as he'll take this all the way up to midfield. 15 more yards there, and quickly another 1st down.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. From the 50, it's Watson. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Moore. And he's going to be marked down just inside the 35.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, Big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
On first down, they'll run with Chubb. Pretty nice, aggressive run there before being brought down just inside of the 30.
Pat Surtain up to make the play.
They've created a nice sustained drive off of plays like that. A nice strong run there that keeps them advancing the ball.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Faking the give. Now Watson rolling to his right. Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it. It's picked up by the Broncos. And he's going to return it to the 21-yard line.
So turnovers, Charles, you figure will be key in the second half, and that's a big giveaway there.
Yeah, and as you and I both know, coaches are always preaching ball security, and none more often than right here in the second half of a tight football game. Now you've got to believe what the coaches are saying and take care of that football.
So 1st and 10 here for Wilson and the Broncos.
At their own 21. Following the fumble recovery, it's Wilson.
Over the middle, complete to Judy.
And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. Great way to start the drive. 20 big ones and a first down.
Certainly no settling into the drive there. They came right out on the first play and attacked the middle of the field for a big gainer and a first down.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Five yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Off the draw, here's Williams. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Here's Wilson. And he's going to drop this off to Williams, complete. And he's brought down short. 2 yards there, needed 4.
Always important as a defender on 3rd down to keep the play in front of you and make sure you don't give up enough space that they can make a move on you in the open field. Try as he might, he wasn't able to get to the first down marker. Excellent defense, good tackling.
Here's Riley Dixon now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds.
Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive.
And last drive, obviously not what you're looking for. You've got the lead. You got to protect the football.
So in other words, someone got lucky because they've been moving the ball really well and wearing them down. In this case, though, giving up the football doesn't make them very happy. They can't wait to get back out there and atone for it.
Yeah, try to atone for it here on this drive.
Watson and the Browns now with a 1st and 10.
At their own 26. Now left side on the swing pass. So give him 2 yards there on the completion, and that'll make it 2nd down. Watson off play action. Being chased out left. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
I know he was trying to get the completion downfield, but the way this game has gone, with a few of the runs he's made along the way, he should have kept the ball and taken it with his feet downfield. That's the big play that shreds the defense. Instead, he thought to himself, I'm a quarterback, I've got to throw it. He bailed out the defense with that incompletion.
Got a man, it's Schwartz, complete. And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
Whenever we talk about moving the sticks and controlling the football, there's a great example right there. Those are the third downs you need to convert to win football games. We're in the third quarter of this one, and this is a tight one. In order to maintain pace, keep the ball away from the other team, and put points on the board, those are the plays they need to continue to convert.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Again, it's Watson. He'll get this to Chubb out of the backfield. So he stopped for no gain, and that will bring up 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He can make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Third quarter of a tight football game as we come up on a 2nd and 10. Watson. He's got his receiver, Cooper. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Give him 32 on the play. The defense, they weren't fooled on that post route. They just couldn't make the play.
And the offense definitely tried to fool them because you saw the other route combinations, didn't you? Anything that they were running trying to draw attention away from the deep part of the field, but still had it covered, yet they were able to come up with a nice play.
So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Off of play action, it's Watson. Njoku pulls this one in. He's got it for a Cleveland touchdown. A great effort there. 29 yards as his guys are able to extend their lead. Circle that drive because that might be one to remember. Well executed to give them a little cushion.
Well, let's take it into the boxing ring. You talk about them commanding it, keeping the fight where they wanted to, whether it was in the center of the ring or putting them on the ropes because it was jab, 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 and finally the haymaker to put that drive away.
Extra point by York is up and good, and that makes it a 21-10 game. York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away. And Smith chooses not to return it, and they'll bring it out to the 25. The Broncos about set to go on offense. They'll look to make some inroads here, trailing 21-10 as they come up on a 1st and 10. Off the play fake, here's Wilson. Man open left side, it's Williams. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. Calling a gain of 3 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Play action. Now Wilson.
And that is incomplete. But the pressure there on 3rd down, forcing the errant pass. 4th down coming up.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just 1 target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target in the second half.
Yeah, it should not stop them at all from going back to him, though. Find him. Find him.
Here's Riley Dixon now as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. And deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. And this is going to be brought back for a Denver touchdown.
After allowing that last score, the defense knows they've got to tighten things up. Otherwise, they'll let them right back into the game.
So now the Broncos offense will come out here as they'll try to add on 2 more. Wilson going to throw for it. Forced out to it, and now the pressure gets there, and he goes down. So he couldn't get rid of the football, and that deficit stays right where it is. They had the big play on the fumble return. They were looking for the 1-2 punch, but they couldn't get that 2-point conversion.
And I have to wonder, were they scheduled to go ahead and kick the extra point? But after a play like that, you talk about the 1-2 punch, right? It's a momentum play. Go for 2 and really try to capitalize, and that's what they attempted.
And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return.
And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. Ready to take over again on offense. Out comes Cleveland. The offense coming back out here. Plenty of energy, ready to roll. Looking to just add to what they have been doing after scoring a touchdown, Charles, their last time out.
And that's a great feeling to have on the sideline, partner, knowing you just won the battle against the opposing defense. And since they came off the field, I'll guarantee you all they want to do is get back out there because they know they have the upper hand on that defense right now.
They start on the ground with Nick Chubb.
That's to about the 28. 2nd down coming up.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Here's Watson. And his throw is incomplete. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the 3rd quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly at the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. A shotgun snap for Watson. Ooh, with a juke. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
And they get Jack Conklin there, the right tackle.
And this 3rd down looking very tough after the holding penalty. 3rd and long. Watson now to throw. And it's going to be incomplete. He was able to catch it there on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. And it's going to bring up 4th down.
And that's a really good job there defensively. They went into this possession knowing that they needed to get a stop. They're in a tight ball game, and they got it done. Great work to force the 3 and out. Got the football right back for their offense. They've got to go to the sidelines feeling pretty good about themselves and encouraging their offensive mates to get some points.
And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time.
And they will take over 1st and 10. So 1st and 10 here for Wilson and the Broncos.
Right at the 30. Now it's Wilson. Buying time to his left.
Oh, this one incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it. And it's 2nd down.
Partner, what we're seeing so far is the defense is certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of the sticks.
From the gun, it's a run for Williams. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5. Three quarters in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Welcome back now to Denver. It's the Broncos trailing, but they do have possession of the football as we begin quarter number 4. Here's Wilson to throw. Steps away to his left. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
And he is such a tough quarterback to defend because you got to remember, arguably, he's more dangerous outside the pocket than he is in it. But how about the job they did defensively to stay with the receiver and knock the ball away? I think they had a sigh of relief there because oftentimes when he gets outside the pocket, big plays result downfield.
Dixon, the punter, is on as he sends it away. Call that a 45-yard punt, just 2 yards there on the return. The Browns offense heading back out to take possession.
Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead. Watson and the Browns now with a 1st and 10.
At their own 18. Now Watson. And the Broncos get there and take him down. Randy Gregory coming in for that outside linebacker spot, and he buries him for a loss of 7.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. They go up the middle with Chubb.
And he's able to break out of 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down.
Only 3 yards on the pickup. They'll be left staring at a 3rd and 14. A tight game like this, such a tough spot for the offense to be in. Even though they have the lead, Charles, back up so close to their goal line, they got to protect the football.
And that's when you have to take care of your team with play calling as well. Not a lot of misdirection, not a lot of counters, not a lot of plays where you have extra ball handling. Get it right to the hands of your running back, tell him to take care of the ball, and try and move forward.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. Critical play in this football game because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a 1st down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
Taken from just outside the 30. Oh, he bowls over him. A big kick that time, 52 yards.
The football going back over to the Denver Broncos. Their defense accomplished step one of the mission. They forced the punt. Now they'll look to erase that deficit and take a fourth quarter lead.
Good starting position for the Broncos here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 40. Here's Wilson.
Out quickly to Judy. And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield.
I got the sense that the defense created a little momentum for them there, didn't they?
Did their job, forced the punt. Now, nice start to the drive. Offense has to do their part.
Yeah, they certainly do, but what a great start for them. They got to go thank the guys on D.
Throwing now, Wilson on 1st down. Caught left side, Williams. And he's got this down a yard or two shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and it'll be 2nd down. Wilson. There goes a deep ball, end zone. And that is caught. Touchdown, Denver.
Jerry Jeudy,
42 yards.
And the Broncos have moved out in front here in the fourth quarter.
Might be seeing that one on the highlight shows tonight. The home run ball here in the fourth quarter to take the lead.
There's nothing like being aggressive, preaching that to your team, and then following through. All the way through. Go ahead and throw one more up there. Why not?
Been a great game, and we are not done yet. So now a big play here as the Broncos will line up to go for 2. They'll look to throw. It's complete. And he will not get there. He comes up short. And they're unable to push this lead to a field goal as it'll remain a 1-point game. The Broncos kickoff unit out there to kick this one away.
On the return from his end zone is Grant. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. Cleveland offense making their way out. And they will be looking to answer the touchdown their defense just surrendered. Still a good chunk of time remaining here in the fourth quarter and a chance to regain the lead in a tight one. Watson and the Browns now with a 1st and 10
at their own 24. Now it's Watson, a bootleg, sliding out of the pocket. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
Tyler Lancaster in there to get him. It's a loss of 5. It has been a rough afternoon for him trying to get rid of the football. See, that's now 5 sacks.
How'd you like to be the offensive coordinator, the offensive line coach trying to come up with an answer for this pass rush? What blocking assignments do you change? Can guys play a little bit better? And we're seeing the end result on the scoreboard. Long day in the pocket for their quarterback.
Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. Another try after the first down sack. Watson.
That one caught by Felton.
And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds. The Browns on third down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is 3rd and 11. Back to throw, Watson.
Throw complete to Bell.
And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. A big play that time on the catch and run. 38 yards.
That could very well be a defining play in this game. A touchdown, that gives them a lead, and they took a major step towards getting there with that big play right there.
So the big play moves him all the way across midfield to the 40 now for 1st and 10. Now it's Watson.
And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line.
His running ability has been an extra dimension of their game plan thus far. For once, though, he doesn't create any magic against the front that's prepared for him to try and take off.
Here's 2nd and 9.
Now a handoff up the middle. Felton. They follow up the first down 1-yard run with a minimal gain of 2.
That call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
A potential field goal, if you're thinking about that, almost 55 yards from here as they try to get closer on 3rd down. Here's Watson. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. Give him 8 yards that time on the scramble, and now 4th down.
That looked great when he first took off because, in my mind, there was room to run, and he had the marker in his sight. But I certainly didn't expect him to close so quickly, and neither did he. They got to him just in time, and now that forced him to make a decision with his 4th down call.
York able to send this one through.
And they have taken the lead here in the 4th quarter.
So he waited on the sideline for his first chance in the ball game, and it didn't come until the 4th quarter, but he connects there. A big one to give him the lead.
Boy, you talk about coming in cold. I don't care how many times you kick it into a net. You're not really ready when you go out there and all that beef is coming at you trying to block the kick. Big spot, and he delivers.
York ready, and here we go as he sends this one away.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So the Broncos coming out now.
And now they find themselves trailing following the field goal. Still a good amount of time in this 4th quarter, but this drive very well could determine the outcome of this ball game. So 1st and 10 here for Wilson and the Broncos
at their 25-yard line. Now Wilson. He'll get this one to Patrick. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 23 yards, the final tally.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Now a 10th carry. Here's Williams. And he's going to take this across the 50 into Browns territory. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
If you're a coach, you'll absolutely take that run every time on 1st down because it really sets you up to go in a number of directions here on 2nd.
from the 47. It's 2nd and 5. Wilson. And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground. Cortland Sutton was the man he was looking for. And it's 3rd and 5. That pass just a little bit off. It looked like maybe he tried to force it in there.
Game speed, always different, no matter what you do in practice. You can't simulate it, right? So your decision making, everything has to be a little bit quicker. Sometimes it can throw you off until you adjust.
Screen play set up for Williams.
Good contain, no gain on the screen, and it'll bring up 4th down.
And I know that one didn't work out the way they thought, but I don't think it was a bad time to call this play. You're thinking on 3rd down, you might possibly see some pressure. You might see a blitz. So they tried to set up the screen, but that one was well read, and they stopped them for no gain.
Here's Riley Dixon now as he's on to punt for Denver. Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a one-score game. And you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football.
And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3.
Brandon, you know how many times we've done games, and at the start of the 4th quarter, we see both teams hold up the 4 fingers, 4th quarter is ours. Well, how about this drive? You saw the 4 fingers for 4-minute offense, and this offensive line has really hunkered down and established themselves.
Now, this is where they say, put the game on our shoulders, we'll lead the way, right?
No doubt about it, and let me tell you, if you're a running back, all you want to do is get behind those big fellas, have a little vision, and find some space.
And a solid way to do that on the first play of the drive there. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play backwards a yard.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bringing up a key 3rd down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity, because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means they might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key 3rd down. Highlight that word, put it in bold. Here we go. And they will stop him short. They get him to the ground at the 27. No first down. 5 yards, not enough. And it'll be 4th down. I hate to surrender the football when you're nursing a slim lead, but they're going to have to punt it away. Trust that defense.
It's the right play at this stage of the game as well. You don't need to press it here because you do have that little bit of a cushion, and you count on your D to make it stand up.
The Browns send out their punter now as he's on to kick it away. He'll send this one into the mile-high air, and it's a good one. Fielded just inside the 20. 2 minutes remain, and that's our score differential as well. 2 points here in the 4th quarter. So it's Bronco football as we get you reset here. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive. Denver offense at the line, ready to go.
Defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10.
And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Here's Wilson. Caught by Dulcich. Well, that'll get them the first down as they get 9 yards out of that quick slant.
I like what they did there, still keeping their tight ends involved. They understand it's not quite Hail Mary time just yet.
Let's go.
First down now, but the clock continues to move. Now Wilson. He's going to let it fly. That's caught inside the 20.
And he's going to be brought down at about the 16.
Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. They'll hand it off now. Williams. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. Now a second timeout called for by the defense as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Again, it's Williams. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. The Browns will quickly use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. It looks like a nickel set now for the Browns on 3rd down. They try the left side here with Williams. And he'll be tackled after a gain of 4, still 3 yards short, 4th down. Have to kick this field goal, don't you?
No question about it. Look at the clock. Look at the situation. Kick the field goal.
So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. This to take the lead here in the final minute. And this one is right through. And the sideline celebrates as they have taken the lead in the final minute. All right, so time to reset here. It's a huge kick there, gives them the lead, but they've got to be careful that their celebrations aren't a little too premature.
You're exactly right about that, because there still is time for the other guys to run a few plays and get into field goal position. So this defense is going to need to come up with one final stop if they're going to get out of here with a victory.
The Broncos kickoff unit out there to kick this one away.
On the return from his end zone is Grant. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
So Deshaun Watson in the offense. Down by 1. 23 seconds to go. Now their lead is evaporated, but they still have a shot on first down.
Watson to throw. That's going to be taken in by Felton. Oh, and the tackle comes quickly. That's only going to get him a couple.
Just a gain of a couple there. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
Well, it took us until the final play, Charles, to officially decide a winner. Although on that last play they were so backed up, it would have taken a miracle, and they couldn't get that miracle done.
Well, I like how you stayed with it, because we both knew
that this had to go down to the last play, and neither side was going to exhale until that play concluded, because we've seen the improbable before. A couple of laterals, maybe some poor defense on the back end. They might have gone all the way to the end zone. In this case, though, it didn't happen. Perhaps next time.